I was wrong, boys. I was wrong. I was 100% wrong about my prediction. And you know what? I'm happy that I was wrong. I am very happy that I was proven wrong last night. Because holy fucking moly. If you didn't feel confident or energized about Game 3, you better sure as hell be hyped up after Game 4. This was impressive, to say the least. Game 4 played between the Toronto Raptors and the Milwaukee Bucks at the lovely Scotiabank Arena. And what did we see tonight, guys? We saw the Toronto Raptors supporting cast finally come back from the grave, resurrect themselves, dug themselves out of whatever hole they were in, returned from the shadow realm, whatever the fuck you want to call it. They came back, and holy moly, was it a beautiful game to watch. You know, I went to Jack Astor's with a friend of mine. Woo! The energy in that bar, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Every bucket that went in, the crowd went wild. Guys, this was a good game for Toronto. This was a game where you knew Kawhi was not going to be 100%. He even, tweaked his leg a little bit more going off dunks this game. You could see him laboring out there, struggling. 19 points only. But it didn't matter because the rest of Toronto showed up like we knew that they could. Well, I personally didn't think they could show up like this. But nonetheless, what their original regular season selves showed the fuck up. And some more. Also keep in mind, Pascal Siakam did not have a good offensive night. He had 7 points. Who did you get your scoring from? You got it from Kyle Lowry, who decided to turn the clock back once again, pull out 2016 Kyle Lowry. And he was really the whole reason why the Raptors were able to actually build some momentum after the first quarter in the game. Because I remember watching Milwaukee at one point led by 7. And, Yanis is going on a tear. He's flexing after one dunk. Anyone that does that, no. You're going to have a hard time. You're going to have a hard time. So he starts flexing, yada, yada, yada. Lowry literally hits a shot, puts the Raptors back in it, momentum. He said to everyone that night, yesterday night, I'm not going down. Let's fucking get him. And you know what else? Marc Gasol finally found the shooting touch again. I know he had a little bit of a good shooting touch in Game 3, but tonight, even better. Danny Green, still kind of not there. But the most important thing is, and you guys know, I've given Nick Nurse criticism throughout the entirety of the series. I don't really have much for him tonight. I don't really have much for him. I can confidently say, you know what, Nurse? You did a good job tonight. You did a pretty good job. I still don't really support the 3-guard lineup, but I've had some time to think about that. And, it's come to my conclusion that he just trusts them so much so that they'll eventually break out of their slump and start shooting this well. Look, if you can run the 3-guard lineup if you're shooting like this. That's all I'm going to say. If you're producing offense like this, go ahead, run your 3-guard lineup. It's when you don't make those shots, that's when the problem starts. And you can say that for any lineup, but particularly with this 3-guard lineup. Anyway, we're not going to go back to the 3-guard lineup. We're going to go back to the most important adjustment that has been made that has essentially evened out this series, similar to how the Raptors were able to do it in 2016. Well, not in terms of adjustment, but in terms of how they've been able to even it out. And that is, guys, the trusting of Norman Powell. Norman fucking Powell. I said it last video. I said it in previous videos. This man is an X Factor. He is an X Factor of Toronto. Now, everyone's saying, oh, he choked in 2017. I'm like, yeah, he had an off year. But you know what? When the postseason matters, if it was anyone other than LeBron, and no one's been able to get through LeBron in the East for the longest time, so you can't really discount anyone for that. But in the postseason, when everything was on the line, who saved it? Under the Dwayne Casey and DeMar DeRozan era. Who saved it? It wasn't those two. I'll tell you that. It wasn't those two. It was Norman fucking Powell. The man has saved Toronto's postseason, and I'll say it again. He has saved it before. He can do it again. And tonight, he brought the series back to even. Now, everyone else was wonderful as well. You had Serge Ibaka. There was one play. It was early, I think, second quarter. Holy, you knew he came to play after that. Because there's this is like gif of Nick Nurse falling behind his chair, kicking his leg up when he's talking to Nate Bjorken. Holy shit. So it comes off a missed shot. Pascal tries to tip it back in. Misses the tip in. Ibaka soars in the air and just hammers it down and swings. Like, you could feel the vibration. And everybody, I was like, everybody in the Jackass I was at, everybody just was like, woo! God damn. The chef came to cook tonight. The chef came to cook. Van Vliet found his shooting touch. He played some pretty good defense. I like it. His defense was been better for the last two games. You know, he was good in game 3. He was good tonight as well. But how about Norman Powell, guys? This is the main guy I really, really want to talk about because he took the most shots out of anyone on the Toronto Raptors squad, and he was trusted to take those shots, and he made them. He played 32 minutes. You can see that finally Nick Nurse is starting to go, change up the lineup just ever so slightly because he realized that Danny Green has not been able to give him the production in terms of speed and scoring that Norman Powell has currently been able to. And I don't care if Danny Green starts so much. I care if Norman Powell gets more of the crunch time minutes. I was recommending this after game 2 when Norm showed some fucking life. And after even game 1, I was just like, Norman Powell is the way to go. So yeah, we're going to go into the quick quarter recaps. Quarter 1, like I said earlier, the Bucks get off to a good start. I'm thinking, oh shit, here they come. But no, Lowry answers, and he really kind of led that initial charge, and Toronto never really let up the gas after that. Second quarter, 3 start raining from Toronto, and they managed to build a really nice lead. We go into the third quarter. It's kind of almost the same thing, except the Raptors defense really, really continues to hunker down on Milwaukee. And then we go to the fourth where, it's just basically Toronto pushes that, I think at that point, that double-digit lead and ends the game. I think, it says they ended with an 18-point win. This really should have been 24 because they had like the scrub lineup on that basically could not score jack shit. But yeah, I didn't really have much time to write too much for the quarter recaps just because of the situation, like that atmosphere. Whew, so wonderful. But yeah, you're heading into Game 5 right now, into Milwaukee, and, a lot of Raptor fans are thinking this should be 3-1. Game 1, they let it slip away, and if you're going into it with that mentality, like, you know what, we're the better team, we should have won Game 1, that's on us, and you've just won 2 back-to-back. If you're the Raptors, you're feeling pretty good about this Game 5, right? I will be ecstatic if I am proven wrong. Because what's happened on the defensive end in the last 2 games, particularly what you saw in this game, the Raptors have seemed to figure something out that's managed to expose Milwaukee. And their intensity has definitely been turned up a dial. Even though Milwaukee gets these would often be soul-crushing offensive rebounds. The Raptors are like, okay, you get it? We're going to make you miss it. And we're going to make you miss it in a way that the ball rolls down and doesn't bounce. It rolls to us. This was a truly fantastic game to watch, guys. Started at 8:30. It was absolutely wonderful, right? Now, if Kyle Lowry continues to score like this and the Raptor defense can hold the opposing Bucks offense, we're looking at a Raptors finals. I'm not going to say, Raptors are going to win like the whole series. I still don't know. I'm not making a prediction regardless because I've already been proven wrong once. I'm going to shut my mouth about the 3-guard lineup and just let the game play out. Something else, that a major props to Nick Nurse on this one. He has put Kawhi Leonard on Yanis in terms of as his primary defender. Before Kawhi became known for his, well, not even known, before everyone lauded Kawhi for his offensive ability that he demonstrated this year, he was known. What got him the Finals MVP was his defense. He locked up LeBron James in 2014. He's locked up KD before. He is a defensive superstar. This is where his reputation began from. So even though the guy's laboring out there on offense, he still has the energy, the will, and the power to defend Yanis. And Yanis right here, I said earlier, like about 2 weeks ago, somebody was asking on Reddit, who's the more dominant player? The better player. Yanis or Kawhi? Who's better? And I said, what was the objective answer. A man with a finals MVP or somebody who didn't even make the finals and doesn't have a jump shot. And somebody got salty, say Yanis doesn't have a jump shot. That's all he is. Well, so far, what are his accolades? Does he have any other? He's probably going to be MVP, but he still doesn't have it yet. He hasn't advanced to the finals. Toronto Raptors got someone that's done all of that. A finals MVP is way more valuable than a fucking regular season MVP. And Kawhi is showing you that even though his offensive game has suffered, he still has his defensive game. He still has his roots. Truly spectacular. Look at the bench, guys. Look at the bench. Above double digits for the bench. This was absolutely amazing to see last night. And you know, Milwaukee gives up a lot of open threes. And Toronto, if they're going to hit them, it's going to be GG. Because they gave up a lot of threes, Milwaukee did, in game one. And Toronto just didn't hit as many. They hit a little bit more. They played a little bit tighter. You know, Norm Powell gets a couple more minutes. This series is 3-1. But alas, it's not. And Toronto's got to work extra hard in game 5. Take that game 5. And we finish this off in Toronto in game 6. Ideally. But yeah, guys. Wonderful game. I will see you after game 5 Thursday.